On my fingers, Handmaid's Tale, a brand new series, Sunday on CNN.
From the top stories in Asia.
A quicker, portable way of testing for COVID-19 in just 5 minutes.
To breaking news in the US and Europe.
US President-elect Joe Biden is set to formally introduce his top economic team.
With an eye on markets opening across the world.
Wall Street's major indices all closed the month with double-digit percentage gains.
It's the one bulletin that offers you a global perspective. World Tonight, daily, on CMA.
Hong Kong officials have warned the public not to take part in this year's Tiananmen Square events on the 4th of June. It said the gatherings are illegal. Offenders could face up to 5 years in prison and face charges for violating COVID-19 rules. Police have banned the annual candlelight vigil at Victoria Park, citing the coronavirus pandemic. A rally to mark the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident next Sunday has also been banned. Officials said the number of COVID-19 infections has yet to come under control, while vaccination rollout in Hong Kong has been slow. Organisers have accused the government of using the pandemic as an excuse to stop people from commemorating June 4th. The candlelight vigil usually attracts tens of thousands. It was banned last year for the first time in 30 years, but thousands showed up anyway. US President Joe Biden has proposed a $6 trillion budget for 2022. It combines his existing infrastructure, education, and social welfare plans into one huge package aimed at transforming the economy. It would take government spending to its highest level since World War II. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Joe Biden's first budget of his presidency seeks to build upon measures he's already introduced in his $2.3 trillion American Jobs Plan and $1.9 trillion American Families Plan. Trillions of dollars are earmarked towards measures such as pandemic preparedness, combating climate change and investing in research and development. Annual government spending is expected to rise to $8.2 trillion by the end of 2031. Biden's administration says the staggering injection of funds is necessary to allow the United States to compete with other countries, most notably China. It requests a 10% increase in the State Department's budget compared to last year, which a State Department spokesperson said would allow the United States to engage China in the Indo-Pacific and globally from a position of collective strength. Now, the White House predicts that economic growth would fall to 2% or less from 2022 to the end of the decade if the president's proposals are not approved. Now, it plans to pay for the budget by increasing taxes on top earners and on corporations, effectively boosting the middle classes at the expense of the rich. But Republicans are pushing back against the cost of all of this, having already raised debt and inflationary concerns regarding Joe Biden's existing jobs and families proposals. And they're also resisting what they see as unnecessary government overreach, with trillions of dollars going towards social policies such as tackling inequality and expanding health coverage.
Now, one expert calls President Biden's budget proposal a bold step.
When we think about the budget proposal, this is not so much about fighting COVID, getting us to that finish line. It's about getting us to a better place than February. And if you believe, and I do, that there was a lot of inequality, there were a lot of groups, racial, ethnic minorities, less educated workers that were marginalized from the U.S. labor market, that weren't able to have their full potential. That's who this budget is trying to support. And in particular, there's a lot of investments in children. So to move the needle to create long-run growth, reduce inequality, this takes a lot of money and a lot of good programs. When we think back to after the Great Recession, after the financial crisis, these concerns about the government doing too much, particularly as the recovery went on, they won the day. And fiscal spending actually fell back after the Great Recession. And this is the Democrats believing that they have a lesson to learn and not to stop, to keep spending. And the idea here, the economics of it is there's not some magic level debt so big to GDP. We got to be able to finance. We got to be able to pay the interest payments. But we have an opportunity, especially in the United States, to borrow the money and spend it on the country. And it's swinging for the fences for a more prosperous, more productive U.S. economy. It is risky, but people are worth taking a risk on.
Republicans in the U.S. Senate have blocked a bill to create an independent commission to probe the deadly U.S. Capitol riots. The final vote was 54-35, which fell short of the 60 votes needed to start debate on the legislation. Republicans used a procedural tactic known as a filibuster for the first time this year to block the bill.
The Republican minority just mounted a partisan filibuster against an independent commission to report on January 6th. Both efforts should have moved forward in a solidly bipartisan way. But out of fear or fealty to Donald Trump, the Republican minority just prevented the American people from getting the full truth about January 6th. This vote has made it official. Donald Trump's big lie has now fully enveloped the Republican Party.
The proposed commission was modeled after a similar independent panel formed in the aftermath of the 9/11 terror attacks. Democrats and some moderate Republicans had pushed for the commission to investigate the 6th January riots. That's when hundreds of supporters of former President Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol to delay the formal certification of Joe Biden's election victory. The violence left 5 people dead, including a police officer. But in the days leading up to the vote, Senate Republicans, led by Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, have been deeply skeptical of the commission. Mr. Trump has been another vocal critic, attacking the effort to create the panel as a Democrat trap. Had the commission moved forward, he likely would have been called to testify over his alleged role in inciting the riots and his administration's response to the attack. And still ahead on Asia now. Friends, fans in China disappointed after some celebs are censored from the reunion episode. And bringing some magic to muggles in New York. A look inside the world's first official flagship Harry Potter store.
Have fun while breaking a sweat on your next visit to Gangnam. Enjoy the weightlessness of bungee fitness, or learn the health benefits of pole dancing. So don't miss the opportunity to feel the burn with the latest workout trends in Korea. Gangnam Insiders Picks, Sunday on CNA. This program is brought to you by the Gangnam-gu office. This June, Asia's past, present and future comes together. Race to feed the world as scientists, farmers and entrepreneurs solve the impending food crisis. Journalist Yuma Raki unveils the transformation of Japan's social and political identity in Deciphering Japan, and relive the history of the Chinese Communist Party as it marks 100 years of existence. This June on CNA.
So little land with so many mouths to feed.
Land matters. The future is going to be really challenging.
Dan akhirnya dibuang seperti ini dengan mubazir sangat disayangkan sekali.
Ini adalah solusinya.
We can turn Singapore into a protein powerhouse overnight, but people don't understand what we're doing.
Women farmers are the solution for the food security problem.
Race to Feed the World, Monday on CNA.
He's just looking at us with his eyes wide open. Oh, it's so cute.
I'm Shushan, and in this series, I'll be tracking into hidden parts of Singapore.
Oh my God, treacherous!
To find out what's being done to save our biodiversity.
Every animal plays a significant role.
And if we're running out of time.
It seems that there is an uptrend in the number of roadkills.
It's in our nature. Video on demand on CNA.Asia.
Alaska is seeing temperatures increase at least twice as fast as in the rest of the United States. Rising sea levels are causing coastal erosion, pushing some communities inland. Volatile summer storms are also sparking massive wildfires. And all of that is putting a much bigger strain on the communities who rely on the land to survive. Nick Harper reports from Anchorage.
in rural